This week on Down to Earth, full steam ahead. Kenya taps into the geothermal energy buried at its feet.
You can see one of the rigs. It's up on the top there. This energy is actually the future of Africa.
Only 1 in 4 Kenyans can plug into power. The potential of a nation relies on this renewable resource.
When there's no electricity, there's nothing you can do. Electricity is a must.
Certain opportunities come with a cost. Forced off the land, Africa's Maasai tribe demands a share of the geothermal wealth.
It belongs to the whole nation. But I want a percentage, not just to look at it and cry.
This week we're down to earth in Kenya. Beneath my feet, the ground is bursting with heat. This steam has escaped from a crack in the Earth's surface that stretches from here across the whole Great Reef Valley. And if we dig several kilometres down, we can tap into a natural resource that's powerful enough to revolutionise Kenya's energy landscape. This is where geothermal power was born in Africa 30 years ago. Today, Kenya is ramping up the use of this resource.
And here what we do is we drill 3 kilometers using the same machines like in oil drilling, and we go 3 kilometers. From those wells, we get water and steam, hot water and steam. So the steam goes to the turbine where it turns the generator, and the generator produces electricity.
This heat is available 24 hours a day, every day of the year. It's also considered one of the cleanest sources of energy.
Geothermal, the footprint is very minimum. Emissions from geothermal, that is hydrogen sulfide and sulfur dioxide, is so small that it has no effect on human beings and animals.
Here in the thick of the Olkaria complex, the ground breathes from the bowels of the earth. This is the site's newest addition, one of the world's largest geothermal steam baths. What is it here for?
This is a geothermal spa. It is supposed to demonstrate the other uses of geothermal rather than electricity generating. This water is coming from the ground. It is the same water we separate. The steam goes to the power plant, and this water is the one that goes for injection.
So what's the temperature like of this water?
The temperature here at the beginning is about 40 degrees. So this is reasonably hot water. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
What's it like in there?
It's nice. This water has got good minerals like sulfur, which is good for the skin.
Electricity is still Kenya's priority. The goal is to use this energy to reach more people reliably without the regular blackouts that plague the economy.
When there's no electricity, there's nothing you can do. Electricity is a must. Without electricity, no work.
When there's a power cut, we just hang around and wait, because we can't do anything without it.
It's a nightmare for any ice cream vendor when the power cuts here in Nairobi. The problem is the country relies on hydropower, which fails when there's not enough rain. With Kenya surging ahead as a powerhouse in the region, now more than ever it needs a reliable and affordable source of electricity to fuel its growth. Today, only 13% of Kenya's electricity is provided by geothermal power, but its potential is more than 5 times the country's demand.
So basically, geothermal is to support our socio-economic transformation and also to improve the quality of lighting energy everywhere, including rural Kenya.
Back at Olkaria, we realise even the best laid plans have a price. These are some of the neighbours of the geothermal site. But it's also home to Kenya's most well-known tribe, the Maasai. Until now, all the residents have lived in harmony. But since Kenya's leading power company announced plans to expand, tractors have torn through the landscape.
The villages you see below us are the villages which are going to be resettled. The road is already in the middle of Maasai land. It has split homes.
Today we're meeting village chief Menengai Geothermal. His community is home to more than 100 families who will eventually be forced to leave this land to make way for the geothermal expansion. Why is the Maasai community so attached to this particular land?
There are traditions we don't want to lose. We have a lot of grave sites on the land, and they are extremely important to us, because in the Maasai tradition, we don't live far from the graves of our people. The other reason is that we are pastoralists. For our cows and sheep, this place is perfect.
Eventually, do you think you'll be happy to live further away from the smell and the noise of these wells around us?
Yes, that's why we've agreed to negotiate a resettlement, because our children are distracted by the noise. So if we move, we'll be able to have peace of mind on the new site.
Menengai Geothermal shows us why agreeing to leave this village will be difficult. He takes us to his father's gravesite, buried a mere 20 metres away from his home.
I'm ready to fight. Myself, with all of the people around me, we will only move once our requests are fulfilled.
The Maasai are up against the national power company Kengen, which has already fulfilled one of their requests, a new parcel of land, 45 hectares in size, 10 kilometres from their current village.
We'll have schools, and then these are the families where the residential houses will be constructed.
The company has promised more than €9 million towards the resettlement.
This area that is flat, where the communities that have been affected by the project are going to be relocated to. It was a real nightmare. Sometimes we could disagree and break the meeting when we have not agreed, because they felt that either we were cheating them or we were taking them for a ride. So getting them to agree to come our side, it was a real uphill task.
The uphill task is not yet finished. While the majority of the Maasai community are convinced they'll have to leave, they're still demanding 20% of full-time jobs at Kengen, 10% of the electricity sales, and unlimited access to this land for pasture. These are life-changing negotiations.
What we are doing is extremely strange to all of us. It is very strange, and we are doing it for the first time.
The community is demanding a fair resettlement, or a just and a fair resettlement for each and everyone. It's 100% unbalanced. I can say it's 20-80. 80% favors Kengen and 20% only favors the community.
If you had to make the decision tonight, would any of you move to the resettled land?
No
one. The Maasai elders lead us to their most sacred place, the Hell's Gate Gorge. It's here the community performs religious rituals.
With marks that symbolizes the love of animals.
Leaving this land without compensation is hard.
I don't claim as an individual or as a village. The underworld lake under me belongs to me. It belongs to the whole nation. But I want a percentage, not just to look at it and cry.
You can see one of the rigs. It's up on the top there. It's one of the rigs.
Our last stop in Kenya is 100 kilometres further north at the country's newest geothermal field. The Menengai project has an obvious advantage. No one at this site had to be moved. Today we've joined a financier making an unplanned inspection.
The objective of the inspection is to see whether the project is delayed, whether the operation is running as planned.
If exploited to a maximum, the Menengai site alone could meet all of the country's current energy needs. The potential of this power is staggering, not only here in Kenya.
I'm very much passionate about the geothermal. Geothermal is the solution for the African country who doesn't produce any oil and they don't have any resources. Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, Ethiopia, Djibouti, Eritrea, and now we are including Rwanda. And those are the Rift Valley countries which they have a huge potential in geothermal.
With 400 megawatts to be exploited in the next 4 years, Menengai is a geothermal powerhouse. This group of students know their generation will be best placed to reap its benefits.
If I get a chance to, I'll be interested to work in a geothermal plant because I think it's a solution to the power crisis.
Drilling started here in 2011. The total cost of the development, 380 million euros. But it's exactly this type of project that should eventually bring the price of electricity down.
We hope that by 2030, 90% of the Kenya's population will have electricity in their homes, all thanks to what you see happening behind us.
Kenya wants to multiply its electricity production tenfold by the year 2030, using geothermal as its driver. One day could even export energy by digging deeper into a treasure trove that will never run out.